He's actually my candidate in this episode. So Kyren Williams at ADP 20, pick 20. I think we all know him as last year's fantasy darling, right? I think we always love that story where we can grab guys off the waivers and he ends up being a league winner for you, right? As Kamish mentioned, right? He was getting, 20 plus carries the last 5 games of the season, which is perfect in fantasy, right? That's right at playoff time as well, right? For you to, make that playoff run. I mean, he had 6 touchdowns before his injury, 6 touchdowns after, but as we all know, he had three in that week 17 where it all counts in your fantasy championship, right? But I think, comparing last year to this year, really some of that workload that you guys are saying, he really had no competition at all. I'm just thinking, with Blake Corum, coming into this season, I don't think Corum's gonna, really take that much over, but I think he will work into Kyron's workload a little bit, right? So that might drop down to 16, 17 carries, which is more normal, right? That's kind of more what we expect nowadays. Even if keeps, his over 4 yards a carry average, that does bring him back down a little bit, to the back down to maybe the 15 points per week, which is still good, right? But he was averaging 19 points per week with that crazy workload last year. So I think if you really put him, I like in redraft just looking just what's his stat line look like each week? What's his points per game? That really puts him down, in my opinion, down in the range of where you can get backs similar to that 13 to 15 points per week with the Isaiah Pacheco's, the Josh Jacobs, the Rashad Whites of the world, right? Where I think that high, if you want to, bulk up on wide receiver or something like that, you can certainly do that. And as we say a lot, sometimes you can punt the running back in this year's draft. So that's why I'm out on Kyren.
Ethan, keep going.
Yeah, Kyron was my bust candidate as well. I do think he's going to be a usable fantasy asset this year, but at RB7, 20th overall, I'm out. Uh, Kamish alluded to his insane usage. Weeks 13 through 17 last year, his snap share was 94, 90, 77, 79, and 94% snap share. He actually had the number one snap share amongst running backs last year, 83.9%, and the number four opportunity share, which was 78.4%. Opportunity share is the total team running back carries and targets. So, to Aaron's point, lack of competition led to increased usage for Kyren Williams, but I don't think the team wants him out there as much as he was last year. To Kamish's point, he is 202 pounds. I mean, he's not workhorse size. I think Blake Corum eats into his workload more than people want to admit. Blake Corum was a third round pick, very efficient, solid runner in college, and I think that transitions very nicely into the NFL. I don't think the Rams want to see this kind of usage in Kyren Williams this year because he did miss some time. He only played in 12 games, and that's to be expected for an undersized workhorse back. So for these reasons, I'm out on Kyren Williams at that cost. I think I would rather pass up on Kyren at the 20th overall pick and get some of the players that Aaron alluded to later on.
Yeah, I'm also going a different direction in that area of the draft. I'm going to avoid Kyrie Williams too. So I touched on it briefly before, but I'm with you guys. We don't need to belabor that point. We all like Kyrie Williams. We think he's going to be useful, but not quite at that price. Need help with your research for your specific league? There's a way to reach out to us. I mean, you can check us out on the Did It app. That's DIDIT. You can check them out on X at Get Did It. That's at GETDIDIT. Essentially, what that is it's a means for you to set up a FaceTime call with one of us here at Sunday Surefire. It's a pay per minute platform. For us, it's only $1 a minute. And we can give you any type of advice that you want, whether it's a dynasty league, redraft, best ball, whatever the case may be. We're ready to go 24/7. We're always on there. Shoot us a DM. We'll set up a time that works for you to get on there and talk. We'll send you notes about your team and notes about what we discuss, so you don't have to kind of worry about jotting things down while the conversation's going on, we'll take care of that part of it for you. And the best part about Did It, guys, is that your first call is free. So you really got nothing to lose by trying it out. Like, so just download the app. It's for iOS users only at the moment, but it's a growing platform out there to get customized fantasy advice. As much as the generic advice is good, it's always better to when you can get an analyst, one of us, to look at your specific team and talk about your specific needs and carve out a winning strategy in 2024 and beyond.